Well, I made a stop at Tractor Supply yesterday, get some hydraulic fluid, and decided to try and get some rope to fix this broken rope. This is the original rope. As you recall, I tried a clothesline rope, and that didn't work. So, live and learn. Anyways, the smallest diameter rope they sell by the foot there was just a little bit thicker than this, and this was already just a little tight going through that hole right there, so I knew I couldn't go with that stuff. So I went over to the small engine department, and they did have a replacement pull start here. That rope actually looks a little smaller than this rope in diameter, but it is a solid nylon, so it should be a strong enough rope. And so we're going to go with that since it's all they had. Now the new rope came with a new handle, and I was going to use the new handle, but I actually like the original handle better. Actually feels more ergonomically correct in my hand. You see it's got a little bit of shape to it there. This is more squared off. This is also a little wider. This also has this little part right here that's going to sit better when it's on there. So we'll use the original handle even though it's a little scuffed. And this time I was a little more careful about making sure I had some preload on there before I tied the knot. So now you can see the recoil goes back to where it's supposed to go. It doesn't kind of hang down limply. It's a little better. Alright, let's put it on there and see what we get. Alright, now the last time we tried starting this, the rope broke, but then I just wrapped the rope around there, and I did get it to start once since I did the fuel treatment, and thought I got all the water out of there, and it was running on idle for a bit, and then it died. So let's see what we've got today. It's in the 30s right now, high 30s, so it's plenty cold enough that we're going to want to have the choke on, obviously. Let's see. And ignition is on. So let's see. Dope! Guess I gotta double knot that in the handle, huh? You know, kind of think of it. I think I mentioned that before and I forgot to do it. Well, lucky for me, the knot was big enough to keep the cord from going all the way back down into the recoil, so I don't have to take the recoil off again. But what I need to do is I need to give myself a little working room, so I'll just pull it out this far, throw this clamp on it, and we'll keep the rope there, and cut that knot off, thread it through, and double knot. Okay, now I believe that this will not fail me again. Still getting moisture out of this sucker. See if it'll stay running at idle, or if it dies out again. Making sure I had the fuel on. I do. Seems a little better. Alright, let's see if when I give it the RPMs if it still shoots out. Yeah, it does. Wonder what's going on there. Guess I should check the crankcase and make sure that's not overfilled. I bet you it is. Look at all the slobber that's coming out of the muffler over here. Wow. Yeah, always had a breather up there that's puking out of. I'm not sure, but I know that shouldn't be there. I just taken the dipstick out to check the level, and look at what's coming out of there. Wow. Yeah, that's what's happening. All right. You know, part of my problems with that thing suddenly snapping being so hard to pulling back on me, that might also be a little bit of hydrolock. All right, it was gushing out and filled this jar and was still coming, so I had to stop. And this is all gasoline. So sticking float causing the gas to fill in the cylinder and get into the crankcase. Well, I took 3 full jarfuls out before I finally get to the point where it wasn't gushing out with the cap off, and then I just tilted it forward and took the 4th jar full out. So now I'm at a point now where it's not just coming out on its own, but I'm going to continue to tilt it and see how much I can get out through the dipstick opening here before I get to the point where I take the drain plug out. Okay, this is jar number 6, and I've lowered the machine all the way down as low as I can get it to get this one this far, and I'm finally starting to get a little bit of oil in there. Now you can see I can actually not see through it, and it was thickening up at the very end there. So that's as much as I'm going to be able to get out through that drain, through the fill point. I'm going to now take the drain off and drain off what's left. Okay, I removed the drain plug here, finished draining off what little was left in there, and now I'm going to put some new oil in there. Don't know what the capacity is of this engine, and the dipstick doesn't have a fill mark. It just kind of has this weird little pattern on it, so I'm going to assume that they basically just want to make sure that you've got oil on there indicating. The other thing is, don't know whether or not you're supposed to just insert it and hold it like this to check, or do you screw it all the way in until it seats to check. So I think to be on the safe side, I'm going to make sure that oil is indicating on this about 1/3 of the way up. 1/3 of the way up when I do this, as opposed to fully seated. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Now this time I'm going to make sure that I shut the fuel off immediately if it stalls, because if the bowl is still, if the float is still sticking, I don't want to fill the crankcase with fuel all over again. So let's see, I'm gonna still try with the choke on. Alright, so fuel on. Clear out what's in that cylinder. There we go. Spit out some more stuff. That's probably what was left in the muffler. Clean that off. Now, all the time I was down there getting a rag, it stayed running. So, clean off this area up here. Bring the RPMs up a little. I got this little bracket here fell out, so I got to undo that and fix that. I guess I'll do that now since it's bugging me. Oh, alright. They had this hose clamp on there. It looks like the original other half of this piece is missing. So I think this is supposed to go in here. And then there was supposed to be another one like this on the other side, and then the screw went through there to clamp it around the handle. And since they didn't have that, they kind of had this wedged in there somehow, but it wasn't working. So I'll have to address that. Alright, here's what I came up with for a temporary fix, just a larger clamp. Not working very good. I gotta come up with a better idea than that to make that work. I'll mess with that some other time. I tightened it down enough, I should be able to get it to work. There you go. Still smoking some, but probably going to take a bit to burn off all of that crap that's in the muffler. Max RPM right there. I'll drive it around, just put a little bit of a load on it. Well, it's finally stopped slobbering all over this guard here. It's a little tiny bit still, but that's about it. And sounds a lot better. This is loose. Here the motor sounds fine. It's just this shroud right here is vibrating. I don't know if it's just loose or not. But not too worried about that. My cable's sticking a little bit. Well, been running it for about 5 more minutes and it stopped smoking. So it finally burned off all of what was left in that muffler and whatever. That's good. So I've got treated fuel in there right now, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it completely out of fuel before I put it away for the winter. And then in the spring, I'll take a look at that float, see if it's still giving me trouble, and probably do an oil change again just for good measure. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll even spring for the expensive little stupid throttle. I think I checked, and you can see the cable can be disconnected from this part right here, but I think they actually only sell it with the cable. I think it's like 40 bucks. So but true to Honda's reputation, purring like a kitten. Great motors, great outdoor power equipment. So I guess I'm signing off on this one for now.